Hey guys, welcome back to Brake Stand Garage. I'm just working on the Corvette. Got a few things to show you that I'm up to. Kind of walk through what happened and plans for it, I guess. But for now, I'm keeping it. I posted it for sale. If I get an offer, I definitely consider it. But for now, I'm gonna be upgrading and modifying this thing for the future, and probably start building it for Autocross. So first things first, I was on my way to work, a few days ago, and this hose, this rubber boot actually that connects the old stainless one right here, blew out. You can see I got some duct tape on it, got me home, but that blew out. Actually just cracked. It was all dry rotted, which was kind of weird. So I bought this other one online. It had a lot better fittings on it. This fitting doesn't have any fiber reinforcements in it, as you can see, and the rubber's just chintzy. But this one, I looked at the photos, really good. It has like the reinforcement like coolant line should, because it's gonna be under pressure. If I can push this out real quick, I'll show you. See, it's like just better quality connector. So putting this in, decided to do the bottom one as well, and I went with black just because I don't really like the look of that stainless stuff. It just looks kind of chintzy, but that's what works, and I don't want to try and find lines that bend in these awkward positions, you know, like the regular rubber hoses. So this, I just got to connect here with a rubber boot, which is that thing up there. And while I'm in here, I'm thinking, you know, I never got around to upgrading. You can see there's some cracks in it. It's a little dry rot, especially once it gets hot and the pressure builds. You really see those cracks open up. So I ended up buying a roll of this line. I went with the Gates 3/8 inch fuel line. Figured that should work pretty well for what I'm doing. It does say fuel vapor line, so I'm a little concerned about that. But we'll have to see. I'll double check that this is fine. It does say fuel vapor line, so I'm a little concerned about that. I don't know why. Online it just said fuel line. Yeah, it just says fuel line, so it should be fine. So I got that. And I'm like, well, how am I gonna fasten that to like the firewall and underneath? Right now it's just drooped across, awfully close to my exhaust. It's loose. I know that's dangerous. So you under here. My fuel filters right there. And I got these like lines that are kind of starting to droop. Well, that was some loud ass thunder. Holy cow. Okay, well, it's gonna get real nasty real soon. That's the leftovers of hurricanes lately. But as you can see, or can't, but these lines are starting to dangle down because like right here, there's supposed to be a plastic doohickey with a nut holding that in. That broke off. It just got brittle. You can see it's a little damp around that line. It's not dripping or anything, but I think I'm getting some fuel leakage there. So I got that 25 foot of line. I'm gonna come up, fish it all the way down here. And I'm gonna stay on this wall because I do not want it close like this to this exhaust. And to hide those, to block that off down there, I have this heat shield that went over it. But those are gonna be pulled through. I'm gonna run this around here, down through the bottom like that. So be a lot more safe. And it's a better quality hose. This is just some other eBay stuff. I don't think it's Gates. No, it just says Armor. So, you know, that's why that's probably going bad. But I got some good quality Gates line. I'm like, how am I going to hold that to the firewall and down on the bottom of the car? So I was looking up, and all I could really find is these things. So that's what I'm going for. They had some other line hose, like 6AN line. But when you put it around the hose, you couldn't clamp them. They were just like a solid, you know, clearance hole. But when you put this in and cinch it, it actually holds the line nice and tight. So that's going to be 5/8 inch, I believe. Yeah, 5/8, which is also about 16 millimeter. And I'm like, well, how am I going to get these screwed into here? because it's fiberglass firewall, most of it, not all of it, but it's either thin sheet metal or fiberglass. I don't want to weld and stuff. Like, what am I gonna do there? Well, I'll tell you. A while ago, I bought this riv nut tool from Harbor Freight, and they don't have very many riv nuts, so I'm just about out. You can see remnants of packages up there. Just about out. So I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? These might not work now that I'm looking at them. I might have to get a different set for this. I don't know if this is 1/4 inch. Yeah, it's 1/4 20. No, actually that's 6mm. But regardless, this doesn't reach down there. So with this thing all the way open, it doesn't screw onto that. So I'm gonna have to start it with a 1/4 20 screw. But either way, this thing is a riv nut, and what I do is I'll have to drill a hole in the firewall. So this will work for fiberglass, plastic, or anything, because I got that type. And like over here, I'll run the lines. Say I wanted to put a couple of these things here to hold each line. It'll go like something like that, and I'll have my vertical up and down. And then this will just make it so I have a rivet or a nut right into the firewall. And I even bought some 1/4 20 screws for that, and it even came with an Allen wrench. I got all this stuff on Amazon. Show you some part numbers in case you're interested. China. But there they are. So, anywho's, I'm gonna straighten out my fuel line situation. And I think that's about it. Let me go check. Oh, no, one more thing. I also got this mat. I don't wanna make a mess of it right now, but I got this 1/8 inch thick mat. And I'm gonna put it up here. Probably put a little slit in it and hold it so it droops over this, over that, and down here. That'll block all of the air from going around the radiator. My car doesn't overheat, but it struggles. And when it's like 95 out, it holds, like, my fans come on at 180. It takes a long time for those to go down. Just to, like, hover around 180 when the fan comes on, go up to 181, 182, and then it takes just a long time to drop down, is what I'm saying. So if if it gets over 100, it's probably gonna really struggle to keep it fairly cool. I know 180 is cool anyways. I got a 160 thermostat, but that's just gonna help the situation. Then I can actually put some from here across here and just seal it up nice, is all I'm trying to say. And then another thing, I put these here. And I drilled small holes, so it's okay. I could always put some black RTV in there if I'm done with these. But I was struggling to pull my release in here. I'd pull this hood release, and my hood wouldn't pop. I'd have to play with it and mess with it. So I'm like, man, I adjusted these things all the way out. I mean, these things are all the way out. Still wouldn't quite get enough to pull on this tab. So I got this little fix here. It's a little temporary thing. This thing's getting rusty. I either got to pull that off and paint it or get a new one, but that's only like a year old. I should have painted it, but I didn't. Should have come painted, to be honest. But you can see these hood cables. They look like they're in okay shape, right? But then you look down here, this one collapsed on itself. So when I pull on the hood release, you're losing all that distance that collapsed. And I don't see it immediately on this other side, but there's a thicker sleeve on that one. Actually, it looks like maybe there's some damage to a boot down here. I'll show you. So it might be collapsed in there, or it just pulled through, maybe. Yeah, it looks like this whole inner sleeve just, should I show it? Pulled in. So I'm losing all that throw. And if I followed it, I'd probably find some more damaged areas all the way across. So some other plans for the Corvette. I'm gonna straighten out this headlight situation. I'm gonna use some of that rubber mat. You can see I have a plastic jug on that one. It was just like a milk jug or something that I cleaned up and put on there and sealed it. And this one I had one, but it came off, it filled with moisture, so I pulled it off actually. So I want to seal that, because if I don't, then inside my headlight gets moisture and a bunch of dirt. All right, so I got these 2 fuel lines here, feed and return, running around the back here. They're gonna stay nice and tucked up rather than coming across here and drooping near the exhaust. Still gotta tie it all to the firewall, but I took off this little quarter panel thing here, and I'm gonna run them around. I get a back view. I'm gonna run around this the blower motor, probably maybe inline like this, so I can fasten it to this aluminum thing, and then you know, wrap right around. I mean, I could just have them run flush like that, but then I want to drill into this air box where the blower fan is. So I'll probably just do this so I can mount them to this wall. They go down underneath the fan and then pop out. It'd probably be hard for me to show you, but below the exhaust on this side. And then they pop up over here, and you can see that they're quite a bit, good distance away from the exhaust, so I don't have to worry about those heating up or anything. But they run up from down around there. Then I gotta probably reposition this fuel filter. I think I'm gonna make it so the fuel filter's not so close to the ground. I'm gonna just run these lines straight into where these ones are, this one and this one. So you get your feed and your return. And then I'll put that filter, I think I'm gonna put it up here near the firewall. Let me know if you guys think that's a bad idea. But I think if I can mount it like right here or somewhere, it'll be easily accessible and it won't be dangling. You know, it's not that it's dangling, but it's lower than the rocker, so. So I'm gonna move all that up here, then I'll get back to you guys, and we'll move on to the next thing at hand. Once I'm done the fuel lines, it'll be the ducting for the radiator. And I'm also going to polish up this intake hose. I start cleaning it up. Polish this thing up really good. I just want it to be clean again, you know, get it cleaned up under the hood. I also started getting some other stuff together. Wow, it's starting to rain. You heard that thunder. But I got the bolster on down on this side. You guys might have seen that. So now I got a light down there, but I need to get this one set up, tuck all this and get a new bolster. I also got a stereo that I'm gonna be getting. I'm gonna cram a double din into that little spot in there. I think I got pretty decent speakers for like budget stuff. And I might go ahead and get an amplifier, 4, maybe a 5-way, and get a little 8-inch sub. I think that would probably sound good. Let me know what you think in the comments if that's a good idea. I'm gonna go ahead, replace all this junk down here, and we'll see you on the next video.